again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard Tactics video. And before we get into today's video, I would like to say a huge thank you to Trevor Lane for sending in some awesome pictures of his Imperial Guard army. This is the 301st Combined Cadian, the Wolfpack Corps, 25th Armoured Cohort, the Red Devils, and the 840th Tempestus Scion Wrathful Wyverns forces. Whatever it is, it's friggin' incredible, man. I love it. I think it's such a cool army. I love all the infantry, of course. I love the tanks, of course. The smidge of flyers. Just, you know, little seasoning of flyers. It's all just good shit, my man. So thank you for sending these pictures in, Trevor. You've done the Guard proud. You've got a fantastic army. If anyone else has got any cool pictures they want me to use in my videos, please post them on my Facebook page, or you can email them to me at mordianglorytv@gmail.com. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Now, today, guys, what I want to do is a little bit of statistical analysis. Now, I don't know why I'm saying that in such a derogatory tone. I can't even speak properly. I shouldn't be taking piss out of anyone. Because I do a lot of statistic work in real life. So I'm really taking the piss out of myself. But today we're going to be doing some very, very basic trend statistical analysis, and you know what, we're gonna make some assumptions. We're gonna do everything you shouldn't do with statistics, but you know, that's just the way I roll. And what we're going to take a look at is some trends when it comes to the Guard win rates, and what you notice over the course of the kind of the first 2 months of 2022. But this is kind of links into a bigger thing. We're going to use some statistics from the beginning of 2022 to kind of try and emphasize. You like that big pause? Pause for emphasis. Emphasize that point that I'm trying to make. So let's just dive straight into it. What I have noticed over the last 2 months of 2022, and what I've noticed especially since we've come out of lockdown almost a year ago, is that the Guard win rate tends to fluctuate quite a lot, but it follows a rather interesting pattern. And you know what? It's kind of the conclusion I'm going to draw from this actually makes me kind of proud of the Guard community, and you're going to know what the hell I'm talking about in a moment. So what I noticed with the Guard win rate is that it tends to start off low, and then it kind of claws its way back up for a little bit, like maybe 3-4 weeks. It'll claw its way back up, and then it'll get smashed down again to a low win rate, and then it'll claw its way back up again. And you tend to notice that just as the Guard tend to get within a hair's breadth of a nice sweet like 50% win rate, that things happen and we go down again. But then we're always on the up and up. You know, there's always that sort of upwards trend. And so what could be causing this bust followed by this very slow boom? And this is my theory, guys, but let's take a look at some numbers before I, to back up what the heck I'm talking about here. So I've based these numbers, by the way, where my source is for this is I've gone on the Warhammer competitive subreddit, and I've looked at the history of the Meta Monday post. And before I go any further, I want to say a massive thank you to user JCMS85 for taking the time to put these Meta Monday posts together. And I believe, I've chatted to him, very briefly over sort of Reddit Messenger, that he is a Guard player. At the very least he has Guard, I'm sure he does. So, hats off to him. But he makes a huge effort. And what he does with these Meta Mondays is he goes on like BCP, and I think he goes in like TTT and Tawny Keeper and some other apps and stuff. And he brings all the data together and he works out like the top 8 from the different like big events that have been going on. I think he only looks at GTs, to be fair, so he doesn't look at small events, and he looks at the win rate. He works out the number of players, the number of wins, the number of games, the percentage, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a big effort, so massive thank you to him. Now I'm going to be starting from from sort of the beginning of 2022. I'm going to be working through to show what the heck I'm talking about here. So at the beginning of 2022, Guard was sitting at around a 38% win rate. And that's not great, but, it's not the end of the world. It's kind of, it could be better. At the time, there were factions that, Blood Angels at 29%, Chaos at 32%, Demons at 40%, Chaos Space Marines at 43%, Craft World at 18%, stuff like that. So at the time, it wasn't that bad being at about 38%. And then you sort of move along a bit, and you notice that it jumps up from that 30% to like later you get into that like 4. So everyone's sort of come back for Christmas, and it's like, okay, now we're up to like 47%. Like a week later, up to 47%. And then suddenly it drops down. And it drops down to like 37% again. And then it drops down the week after that, drops down to 35%. And you're thinking, okay, well, what could have been going on around there? But then it claws its way back up to 41%. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. That's kind of interesting. And then it friggin' plummets down to 29%. And that's at the end of February we're looking at now. Plummets down to 29%. But then guess what happens? It starts clawing its way back up, 32%. And then we're looking at this week's stats, and Guard are up to 45% win rate. And it's like, 45%? Holy macaroni. That is... How are Guard achieving close to 50% win rate? That's you know, if you look at that and compare it to things like Black Templars, 35, Blood Angels, 32, Chaos Knights, 43, Chaos Space Marines, 35, Dark Angels, you know, not doing that well, Death Guard, 33, Death Watch, 35, you know, there's a lot of factions which are below us, and we've got a sweet 45% win rate. Now, what could be causing this trend? Now, my theory is... my theory, that it is... Now, if anyone gets that reference, that's a little far out there. But anyway, my theory is that it's to do with Codex releases. And you can see the physical adaptation of the Guard community to every single new, crazy, bullshit thing that comes out. So, obviously, at the beginning... Obviously, everyone's getting smashed by Drukhari at the beginning. But then you've got the beginning of the year. What's been coming out from the beginning of the year? You've got things like Hive Guard Spam, Crusher Stampede. Then you've got Custodes. And then you've got, later you've got Tau. Like recently, that's what we've seen. So you can see, as we've said, we've got these dips. These sort of 2 or 3 dips that we're seeing in the trends. And I think what it literally shows is that a new Codex comes out. Everyone starts getting smashed. The Guard community gets smashed as good as the next person. But you can literally see the cogs turning in the community. You can literally see people improvising, adapting, overcoming. And they claw their way up. And if we just weren't in such... People say it's a slow release cycle. It's a brutally fast release cycle. And if we, you know, and every single time the Guard community sort of settles back down, it's like, right, okay, that Crush Stampede, it's pretty gnarly, but we've kind of got the handle of it now. You know, we just need to throw more conscripts at it. That's great, you know. And then, just as we've dealt with that problem, the next thing comes along. All right, Custodes. All right, fine. Okay. All right, back down to the sort of 20% win rate. That's fine. Okay, right. A few weeks go by. Okay, yeah, let's get some more events in. Let's smash some games out. We're doing good. Let's get, you know, as a community, let's get like 100 games under our belt. Let's share some feedback, you know, all that kind of stuff. And then, then bloody Tau come out. And then it all goes back down to shit again. But you can see us, as a community, you can literally see us dragging ourselves out of the goddamn pit again and again and again. And I guarantee, you know, Elder, they've just come out and we're going to see everything, you know, we're going to get smashed down to the bottom again. But you'll see us just coming out and just clawing our way up to that, you know, almost that 50% win rate. It's just what we need. We need that sweet 50% win rate. And I think, you know, it's a real testament to a couple of things. I think it's a real testament to the Guard community and its resiliency. You know, everyone in this competitive Guard community needs to give themselves a big pat on the back. Because one other thing that I've noticed is that not a week goes by without, at least like 10 guard players, maybe, sort of 8 or 9 or 10 guard players going to big tournaments. Every single week you've got people turning up, with their guard armies. Last week it was 9, the week before it was 15. The week before that you've got even more. You've got like a few more, and then the week before that you've got like 7. And every single week, every single week you've got between like 10 and 15 guard players like turning up and just representing the competitive scene. I mean, like we've got more. There's more chaos. There's more guard players than chaos players. Do you know what I mean? There's like more guard players than Harlequin players. Then like, there's always a decent core of guard players just turning up to events and just doing their bit. And I think it's that consistent group of people, that consistent just community representation, which allows us, as this channel is a little bit part of that, to come back from the front line, share that information, digest it. Right, okay, infantry spam's not working so great anymore. Well, what do we need to try now? Right, double heavy flamer chimeras. They were good at the beginning. They're not quite cutting it now. Right, okay, scions, let's try that route. Okay, Cadians, let's try that route. And it's that consistent resiliency, that consistent effort to just play games, improvise, get smashed in the face, but come back. And that's personally what I think it is. Now, it's just a theory, a film theory. Okay, I'll stop with the references now. It's just a theory, but that's what I think is happening, and we're seeing in real time the Imperial Guard community just adapting to the ever-changing meta, and it shows. It's sort of the second thing that I mentioned. Like, it shows that despite the fact we've got this old codex, that we've got. What do I always talk about in these recent videos? I talk about tools in the toolbox. It shows that we've got enough tools in our toolbox. We would always happy to have some more Games Workshop. If the spy from Games Workshop is listening into this video, water pump's broken at Midway or whatever you want to say. If the spy at Games Workshop is listening into this video, we're always happy to have more tools. We'd like a whole new toolbox if a Guard Codex would come out anytime soon. That would be great. But it just shows that we have all these tools in our toolbox, and every time the meta comes and takes a big steaming shit on us, we just, we get that 4-ply, that 3-ply toilet paper out, wipe it off, and we're like, what's next? What's next? Give me the next big shit sandwich. I'll chew down on that. Right, give me the next one. That is the Guard community in a nutshell. So we all deserve to give ourselves a big pat on the back, and just keep on trucking, guys. That's what I want to take away from this video. That's my theory. And I just think, let's just keep going. Let's keep representing. Let's every single event, there's going to be one guard player there with his goddamn, infantry and his tanks, his Lean Russes, just getting smashed. But every single tournament, you'll find a guard player that people are like, oh my god, how did Barry go like 4-1 with his guard? He's using Basilisks and Medusas. How did that even happen? There's always a guard player like that at every event. So let's just keep doing that, guys. Just keep showing them. Just keep showing them. So that's my theory. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. It's only half of the I wouldn't even say half. The majority of the good content in these videos is down in the comment section below. That's where the community is. That's where we share. That's where we learn our knowledge. So let me know down in the comment section below, based on your experience, what is the situation with the Guard and why do you think we're going through these booms and busts? My theory is it comes with Codex cycles and it shows our adaptation. I expect us will have another dip. But then I think we'll be coming back up again. I think we'll always be getting close to that 50% win rate if we just, over time. I think we'll always be getting close. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. Of course, before we end, I want to say a huge thank you to the Patreon supporters. It is thanks to the Patreon supporters that I am able to go to tournaments and do my bit to report back from the front line and share my knowledge with you guys. So massive thank you to the Patreon supporters. If you're interested in becoming one, there's a link down in the description below. But we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.